On Friday, 60 million people tuned into Netflix to watch Mike Tyson and Jake Paul face off in the ring. Leading up to the fight, people talked about who would win or if Mike Tyson still had it. And by had it, they meant Evander Holyfield's ear.
Right. We want it back.
Yeah, he should have spit it at Jake during the fight, okay?
Oh,
then maybe he would have won.
Yes.
That would have been funny.
Stunts.
Since sports is the furthest thing from Louis and I's wheelhouse, not all sports.
I mean,
but boxing.
Olympic badminton, you can come right to me.
We're asking Drew, our resident sports expert, why people care about this, and also why two of the most kind of horrible people
Right.
are at the center of one of the biggest sporting events of the year.
Right. Well, first of all, me being your sports analyst, hilarious. I love that. I love that for us. I think, here's what I will say. The art of boxing has been lost over years because it has increasingly become more capitalistic in its nature, right? So a lot of the fights are rigged. A lot of them they're unfairly judged, all that kind of shit. Unfortunately, Jake Paul has reinvigorated boxing, not because he's a good person, not because he's a great boxer. It's literally just because he's Jake Paul. So he gets a lot of eyes on shit. He's a master marketer, a master shit talker, like a shit starter. That's why he has kind of like pumped life back into boxing and has made it more interesting. Because I think more people have gravitated away from boxing, gone more towards like UFC. So he's kind of brought attention back to boxing, which is unfortunate but true. And so all the fights he has done, he fights people in retirement pretty frequently. So it's like, yeah, he's going to win because a lot of times he'll pay them a lot of money to lose or get knocked out. And if they're old retired boxers, they're not going to say no to a fat check. If it's just let me hit you and knock you out. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, I think the only one he fought someone named Tommy Fury, I think it was something Fury. Of course it is boxer. And so that guy, he tried, I think, to pay off like, hey, like, let me beat you. But he's an actual boxer who does really well legitimately. And so he's like, no, I'm not going to. So that's the only loss, one of the only losses he has against a legitimate fighter. This shit, why did he do it? I don't fucking know. Mike Tyson is in his 60s. So it's just elderly abuse at that point.
He's 57.
He's Jen Shaw.
Yeah.
Okay.
For real.
He's Jen Shaw beating up on the elderly. He's 57, but all them punches to the head, Louis, like you have to be like 112 mentally.
No, for real.
I don't like to think about it. It is mind blowing. I mean, you're right that once upon a time, like long time ago, like in the 50s or whatever, boxing is something that everyone talked about. Like everybody knew the name Ingemar Johansson. You know, when Muhammad Ali came on the scene, like everybody knew his personality, could quote him, whatever. And it was like one of the few male sports where personalities emerged. Like you were familiar with like the verbal stylings of everybody, and also just like, you know, how much they were like the old style of boxing, or if they were a great leap forward. And Mike Tyson specifically was somebody that everybody knew, and it became one of the greatest video games of all time, Punch-Out on Nintendo. And my tie to Mike Tyson is two things. One, I fucking stan Robin Givens. And I stand, first of all, head of the class, she was his model girlfriend at the time, who then has told harrowing stories of her time married to Mike Tyson, including once to Barbara Walters while she was sitting next to Mike Tyson.
Crazy.
Unbelievable. And she also hosted the talk show Forgive or Forget, which Ira and I talk about routinely, which is a show where people would come on, beg to be forgiven by some member of their lives, whether it be a friend or a family member, whatever, and then they would go to a literal door, and Robin would point them there. Okay, go to the door, open it. And sometimes they would be standing behind the door, and sometimes they wouldn't be. And it would be so humiliating for them every time. Me laughing as an 8-year-old, like, adults are the worst.
Second host, by the way.
Oh,
she
after
hosted
Mother
in 2000.
Love. Yes.
Yeah, Mother Love started off the series in 1997. And
Look
Mother
at these
Love.
invisible strings you guys have.
Yes.
You guys have these invisible strings to Mike Tyson.
And
I
also,
love that for us.
An additional asterisk on the video game world of Mike Tyson. he inspired the Street Fighter character M. Bison, who was originally a boxer in the Japan version of the game. And then to avoid copyright problems, they changed his name to Balrog here in the States. And then M. Bison became a completely unrelated character who doesn't look like Mike Tyson. So we can thank Mike Tyson for 2 of the greatest fighting games of all time, sincerely.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And he historically has been a household name in boxing. Obviously, he's the youngest heavyweight champion ever. So it like he does have obviously a lot of accolades as an athlete. He is a bad person, as he has shown. I think a lot of that too, I'm sure, has to do with CTE from the fighting, especially back in the day. This whole fight, shockingly, I did watch it.
I did too. I loved it.
To be quite honest, right? I thought it was real. It's drag. Like that is drag, mama. Like you guys are getting paid. And also while I was watching it, I was telling my friend was over and my fiance, we were all watching it together. And I was telling him, this is the most like boxing as a whole is the most grossly animalistic, like straight guy shit ever. Like to ever exist is grown men getting fired up, watching other grown men beat the shit out of each other. Like that is so like animalistic Neanderthal to me. Like the fact that they're like, yeah, hit him again. You bitches are weird. But I appreciate the pageantry of it. It's kind of like WWE, but WWE is Broadway for straight people.
Right.
In my opinion. So that's
that's art.
You're right. Drag. And so I feel like there was a fight right before the main fight, which was 2 women. Mm-hmm. That fight, it was like Katie Taylor and Amanda, I forget her last name. But that fight was nuts. That fight was crazy. I really enjoyed that one because it's like 2 actual boxers who are actual athletes and they're fighting for real. And I was like, this is the main fight. Like, this should have been the real fight because the other one, there's a lot of pageantry. Like, did you all watch Jake Paul's entrance? That took 45 minutes, by the way.
No, he's like fully Caligula walking into some arena. Yeah.
To In the Air Tonight, which I did appreciate the troll of using the Phil Collins song because Mike Tyson, of course, repopularized that song when he sang it in The Hangover.
Right.
But did anyone notice when he and his brother Logan were coming in and then, everyone does the drum part in The Air Tonight, they completely missed the drums. They were off.
Oh, what the fuck is that?
Oh, no rhythm from 2 awful white guys?
It does seem unlike them. Yes.
That seems so unlike them.
One last thing I want to say about Mike Tyson, though, is if you have not read his interview in Interview Magazine with Rosie Perez, you need to read this interview because it is one of the wildest things I have ever seen in my life.
Really?
Just two quotes from it. She asks him, about, being remembered, about like how things are going to affect his legacy, like how this fight is going to be, because Tyson says he has more fans than the champions. He has more fans than everybody but me. And Perez says, how do you think this is going to affect your legacy? What do I care about my legacy? I never knew what a legacy was, and people started throwing that word around so loosely. A legacy sounds like ego to me. I'm going to be dead soon. Who cares what somebody is going to think about me when I'm dead? We don't talk about Charles Manson. No one cares about nobody when they're dead and gone. And Rosie Perez says, weird comparison, but I'll take it.
I'm like, also, I literally was like,
why him? Yeah, that is very, very strange. He also gave an interview to like a little girl where he said the same thing. He goes, legacy just means ego. I'm just going to be dead. And I don't know how that child was supposed to receive that news, but I think it hit her like a thud. Yeah.
real pivotal moment in her development.
Yeah.
Wildest quote is at the end where he thanks her for the interview and says, I won't let you down. And she says, I know you won't. We both made it out. Because, they both made it out of their respective places that they were born in. Yeah. That's how they've known each other for years. And Mike Tyson says, hey, life isn't over yet. We're still fighting. We only make it out on the day of our death. There's no way I should be here talking to you right now. All my friends are dead. They OD'd. They had AIDS. Me and my friends both had sex with this girl at the same time, and they both died of AIDS.
Help me, God.
I didn't catch AIDS. Raw, too. And Rosie Perez says, that's crazy. You have a spirit hovering over you.
That's what he does?
Excuse me? Wait, King, let's rewind a little bit. King, can I unwrap that for a second? Like, what are you talking about?
Jesus Christ.
Well, and you know what's funny is my fiance told me, he asked me, have you seen any of the interviews he's done this week before we watched the fight? And he's like, he has this like kind of ominous, like nihilistic attitude. So that would freak me out if I was gonna fight him, because like there's nothing more dangerous than a man like that with nothing to lose. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that would have freaked me out if I was fighting him, just because he's like, well, we're gonna be dead, so.
Right. But that also could mean he like kind of takes a dive easily. You know what I mean? Like, who cares one way or the other? You know?
Yeah, but that's true.
You're right. It made him more of a wild card than he even was previously. I do have to say that's probably
exactly.
True.
And I was like, I don't know if you're just trying to keep people on their toes or if you just like genuinely feel that way. Like, how did you work AIDS into the conversation about legacy?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's where I'm kind of like. Mm-hmm.
It seems like the only thing that really paid off with this whole thing was the weigh-in, where like they got in each other's faces, which I feel like is half the fun of boxing to people, is this like weird drama. Yeah, total dragged costuming, whatever. Yeah. Where he literally slaps the Paul person. I literally forget which one it is. Is it Jake? Is it Logan? Zeppo? Chico? Jake. Groucho? Which one is that? That I sort of do think is a little bit amusing. Also, just slapping in general. If we could get that to be like a more formal sport, and I know that there is a version of this that exists, I think that is funny.
Yeah, the big slap. You want to know something funny about that slapping competition thing that is held in Vegas? The only reason I know about that, it's called The Slap or something, and it's because they've invited me to come watch. To which I'm like, me? Like, I'm okay. I'm happy for you though. Like that you found a sport you love, but
Drew, I have bad news for you. As our sports correspondent, I do think you have to go. I think we have a lot to learn through you about this.
That's true. We have to go. We have to cover the sports that no one's willing to talk about, like the slapping.
The only slap we've seen is the Zachary Quinto show.
Oh, was he on that?
Yes, he was, baby.
I just know the concept of that show. Yes, okay. Yeah.
I have no concepts of that show. Yeah, that's like that one in Will Smith slapping Chris Rock at the Oscars.
Yes.
That could contend for a best slap too.
I guess absolutely. You've got, of course, the entire world of Dynasty and Drag Race. There's a lot to consider here. We'll get that list together one year.
Right. Yeah, I think the weigh-in thing and him slapping across the face, that was nice. That was enjoyable to watch, him hitting him. Sure. I feel like it ended exactly the way I thought. It was honestly quite boring. Like the fight itself, I thought it was very like, well, yeah, he's a senior citizen and you're hitting him. So, and honestly, it was more so I think he just got tired, like, because again, he's a senior citizen, so his stamina is not quite what it used to be.
I also think like people took this seriously in the way, it's like if they took seriously when Andy Kaufman used to challenge women to wrestling matches. I don't know if you remember this, but like Andy Kaufman, the famous comedian from the 70s, he was on Taxi into the 80s and then died quite young. He would do these like.
He's still alive.
He's very among people who are still alive in Mexico. I think Andy Kaufman is way above Tupac. Something about him feels very stunt oriented. But he would like body slam women in rings and then like call them all weak and stuff. It was all like a trolling exercise or whatever that got people really upset. I wish we had just accepted it on that level.
I agree.
You know,
if you look at the people they picked to like host the fight itself, like to commentate it, it felt like a real random like spin a wheel and they're like, yeah, let's see what they're up to, let's ask them if they want to come. Like, it's so when they were showing celebrities in the crowd, I'm like, what are they doing there? Like, what are you doing there? Like, this isn't something that I would like ever move my schedule around to attend in person. So it was kind of shocking to see people there where I was like, I hope you're getting paid to be there, because otherwise this is strange. And I think anything straight men inherently love, I hate. So that's probably why I hate boxing, because anything straight men are like, yeah, I'm like, that's probably awful.
No, it's suspicious.
That's what I always think. It's probably, it gives me a real sinister energy, I feel like. And also, Jake Paul, this is unrelated to the fight, balding horribly. Someone should check on that. He's made a lot of money off the fight. Go get hair plugs, queen.
He really does feel like a Jersey Shore cast member who was thrown in the slammer for like 4 years and now has returned to both party and irritate.
Yeah. I feel like people obviously know he's a terrible person, but people often forget like what a little dorky little white YouTuber kid he was forever. That's how I know him. So watching him try to like big body someone like Mike Tyson just in energy, yeah, I'm not buying into it. Sorry, King. I know who you really are. You know what I mean? Like
I think we can all agree that, boxing lost its luster when Celebrity Deathmatch went off.
Your lips to God's ears. When we used to have Jewel and Alanis Morissette face off, and then Alanis would be barefoot. Or no, Jewel would be barefoot. I forget. One of them was deemed too earthy to exist. I forget.
Yeah, but Gen Z would not like pitting celebrity women against each other the way we used to watch that happen on MTV, okay? But I would watch Taylor Swift and Olivia Rodrigo Celebrity Deathmatch. Claymation fight. Come on.
Right.
Please.
Right. I've been, would y'all believe I've been offered to like celebrity box, and that's very loose because I'm not a celebrity, boxing match another influencer before, which is like, no. When I got the offer, no, I'm not doing that.
It's an extremely advanced skill set. It's not something you can do on the fly. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Well, and also like I don't want to do that. Like I don't want to get in a ring in like my chonies and my bra and be like fight. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm almost 30, so I'm good. No, I'm okay. Thank you though.
You should fight Hawk to a girl though.
Yeah.
I'd watch it.
I'll fight Jake Paul. Fuck it. So I was like, there are people that I would like celebrity boxing match, and they're not people like Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying? Like there are other people that I would do that to. Like one time on an interview, I said I would fight Ronald Reagan. Like if Ronald Reagan was alive, I would get in the cage with that bitch easily.
Oh, sure. But
I would bare knuckle box that guy.
Well, I have bad news for you. Nancy's going to jump right over his shoulders and kick you because
I'll fight both of them.
Yeah.
I'll fight both of them. Both of them are in hell, so I'll fight both of them.
I'm telling you, she's going to throw the china like ninja stars, and you will be decapitated. I'm worried.
Right.
I'm going to say she plays dirty. Yeah.
Yeah, baby, they killed Rock Hudson. Okay, they'll kill you. Anyway.
Oh my God, that's their threat.
When we're back, our favorite segment of the episode, it's Keep It. And we are back with our favorite segment of the episode, it's Keep It. Louis.
Yes.
What are you mad at this week?
I am going to say keep it, a reluctant keep it, as have a few of mine been recently, to the Gwen Stefani album Bouquet, which is, let me say something. When you're in your mid-50s and making music, go hard on adult contemporary, please. Like, this entire album is themed around flowers. Every song is about flowers in a certain way. Or, like, if not, then words like pretty are thrown around so that it's also still kind of flowery. All right, that is so Dorkenstein. So, I'm slowing down in my life and just want to slow down and smell the flowers. Okay, great. Feels like something exactly Kathie Lee Gifford would have given us in 2000. But the lead single on this album, Somebody Else's, great song for her. I don't know if you know the song yet, Ira, but it's sort of like if Gwen Stefani just delivered a full Avril Lavigne song. And those energies, I think, coalesce pretty well, actually. They're sort of similar. She is a little bit like if Avril Lavigne acted like a Marilyn Monroe-themed phone sex operator. That is what Gwen Stefani, to me, is altogether. And she delivers it on that song, great pop hook. Otherwise, though, the thing that really makes this a keep it for me is that the lyrics of these songs are just too bad. For instance, on the song Pretty by Gwen Stefani, the chorus is, I never felt pretty till you loved me. I always felt pretty, pretty, pretty unlucky. I never felt pretty till you loved me, and now I feel pretty, pretty, pretty lucky. You can hear that that's unacceptable. You can hear that that doesn't belong in a song that we humans, people, listen to. But I will say about this album, this is not actually a diss, as Ira and I both praise this album. It's kind of her 1-4-3 in that it's all about the sincerity, the like I'm settling down with a nice man, Blake Shelton, who looks like he belongs in a dog food commercial. That's just what he does. But it's like nice sentiments, and she does give that kind of like pop balladeer angst that I think she's always been good at, that makes songs like Cool really good, or 4 in the Morning, or even, Don't Speak. Don't Speak is like a great song because she brings that balladeer angst to it. So you get some good moments from her on that front here. But otherwise, the songwriting is just not good enough.
Okay. I think I'm ready for mine.
Okay.
We're
prepared. We're prepared.
I think it's not going to be nearly as shocking, I don't think. I think we can keep it as far as any sort of boxing anything with men we hate. Like I like, unless I'm gonna watch a man I hate get the shit kicked out of him, keep it. I don't want to hear about it. I don't care. I don't care to know. I don't care to learn. I don't care any of that.
It does
I think celebrity boxing match in general, let's keep that away from me.
It does feel very 2000s too. Like once upon a time, would like turn on the TV and, oh, look who's fighting today. It's Tanya Harding.
And that I would watch, so that's different. But I think
lady boxing is acceptable. Right. It's the male boxing where it gets a little dicey, I think.
And specifically men, I will say this, like men who are inherently awful start in the world of celebrity as influencers, transitioning to becoming an athlete, specifically, keep it. Keep it. I don't want to hear it. And if you do it, don't tell me about it. I don't want to hear about it.
I do have to say I'm thankful that the world of the Pauls, like, they exist. I mean, I guess they do count as monocultural celebrities in a way, but I still don't feel really obligated to know anything about them. There is like a chasm between them and, like, I don't know, legit talents, for example. So
exactly.
Like I sort of am I feel like this is as high as he can possibly rise in terms of sheer visibility. That said, I am worried he will become president of the United States.
And at this point, it's a viable option, and that's upsetting.
Right. He may be more centrist, actually. So I'm more
actually. Yeah. I could see them both being president. Our first joint presidents of the United States.
Yeah, one does like Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. The other one does Tuesday, Thursdays. Both take.
Is that in the Constitution? Can two people run at the same time for the same position?
I wouldn't be
surprised. That sounds like the foundation of a rom-com I would watch. It says here that Sandra and whomever can do it at the same time. Yeah.
Red, white, and royal blue.
Yeah.
You imagine,
even royal.
You imagine them changing it for them so they can run, but then Donald Trump is still alive. He's like 101, and he's like, I'm running with one of you.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he's going to have someone bring a Ouija board into the Oval Office and call him back from the underworld, and then he's going to come back as a spirit.
Her name is Omarosa. Yes.
Yeah. I don't trust Americans. I would buy that they would elect Trump's ghost.
Me too.
Please.
At this point, especially, yeah.
Ira, what is your keep it this week?
My keep it this week goes to anyone who is not currently listening to the new album from Flo.
You have to explain what this is.
Flo.
You have to explain what Flo. It's not Nightingale or Pew.
No.
Okay.
They do not care about acting, and they do not care about saving lives.
Oh,
but
thank God.
They've saved mine. This is an R&B girl group, and in the vein of Destiny's Child, SWV, the Sugar Babes. They're British. The album's produced by Eminem, fantastic musician and producer, and their debut just came out. You might have heard their single "Cardboard Box" a few years ago.
I was just about to bring up Cardboard Box. That's how I found them, was Cardboard Box a couple years ago. Love them.
So their debut album, Access All Areas, came out this weekend, and it is fantastic. It's great R&B music. It's great girl group music. They can all sing live, mind you, because they've done a bunch of the Vivo live performances of their songs previously, and they sound great. The harmonies are on point. The dancing is on point. They've even shown videos of them rehearsing while working out in the Matthew Knowles vein.
Oh, I see. Is there a song in the girl group canon that most reminds you of them that will perhaps entice me to listen to Flo?
You know what? The vibe is very Destiny fulfilled. It's very
Lose My Breath?
Girl. It's very girl vibe.
Girl. The song Girl.
Very girl, t-shirt. Yes. It's very like slinky, sexy R&B.
I've come to realize that my favorite Destiny's Child single is Soldier. I think it's just it remains their horniest song. They literally said, "Can you be in the military and hung? Thank you. We're clocking out. Thank you."
That's really it. That's all I'm looking for.
I don't think those were the kind of soldiers they were talking about, Louis.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Jay-Z, not a military man, so it didn't really work out for her.
You've heard of sister soldier? I think they were looking for brother soldier.
Yeah, right.
The coldest winter ever, they were trying to get warm at night.
Dang. Okay, well, I will listen to Flo literally as I leave the studio, so I will report back next week on what I think of whatever Ira considers tasteful. We'll see how it goes.
I love Flo. I co-sign the Flo.
All right.
Argument. I love
they're fantastic. Soft and Nocturnal are two of the best songs on the album. And also their song Caught Up, which was a single, interpolates Cole Porter's Night and Day.
What the fuck? Louis just woke up. First of all, a fine Cary Grant movie. Second of all, if you haven't seen DeLovely with Kevin Kline, underrated Kevin Kline performance, and Alanis Morissette performance of Let's Do It, Let's Fall in Love by Cole Porter. Wow, that is very cool.
Yeah. I mean, a great album. So go and listen to it, and we'll talk about it next week.
Very good, very good. Drew, thank you for being radiant. You were a radiant addition to the podcast, and you will be back here again. I don't mean to sentence you to anything you don't want to do, but you will be summoned.
Don't threaten me with a good time. I'll be here. I love gabbing with the girls. I love it. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. And thank you to Pablo Lorraine for joining us. This is Keep It. We'll see you in 2 weeks, because next week is Thanksgiving.
And I've got a tryptophan haze to be living under.